I'd like to call the May meeting of the Jackson City School Board of Education to order. And I need a roll call, please.
Mr. McDonald?
Present?
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Harless?
Here.
Dr. Morris?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Present.
And now can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
And I believe we have a student here that might enjoy. Would you lead us in our pledge? Come on up.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Come on
young
up here.
lady.
There you go, when you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, young lady.
Thank you. Before we move on, I'd just like to say that it's nice to see faces in here tonight and
Yes.
people in here, because it's been about March of 2020 since we had very many people in here. So I'm just glad to see all these people here. Now we'll move on. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda, but before we do so, we've got an amendment Mr. Howard's going to make.
Yeah, I'd like to move item W from the consent agenda to new business, item C.
Okay, I need a motion, a second on the amendment.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. And now we need to move on and probably do the approval of the whole agenda with the amendment. So I need a motion to approve the agenda now amended.
So moved.
I'll second.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. And I need a motion to approve the minutes. A second.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Recognition and awards, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Howard.
Okay, the Ohio School Boards Association has a program where they encourage school districts to honor and recognize business partners in the community. This year, right before school started, we were kind of in a bad situation. Everybody was out buying up all of the plastic guards that you see. You couldn't get them. People were price gouging. They were charging 10 times what they were worth. And honestly, I don't even know if we would have been able to start school or not. So we went on a quest to try to see where we could find some of this stuff so that we could protect our students and our staff. Lo and behold, we were able to do it right across the street here. So Rick Smith from over at Iron City Pipe, I went over there. They can build about anything over there. If they don't have it, they can put it together for you. So we went over, talked to him about some of our needs. He was able to, if you go through our buildings, you can see, especially more so in the elementaries, but even in the high school, the lunch tables and so forth, you'll see some of their workings that will allow us to be students from being right on top of each other. And more importantly, even than that, or as importantly than that, we did it pretty much at cost for us. It saved the district tons of money, and we were able to get it done right here, actually delivered them right out to the schools. So I want to take this time right now to thank Rick Smith of Iron City Pipe, and if not for you guys, I don't know if we would have been able to even start school this year on time. So Rick, if you could come up, I have a certificate for you. Also, just real quickly, I want to read from the Ohio School Boards Association, the letter to Iron City. Congratulations for being named to the 2021 OSBA Business Honor Roll. With this certificate of recognition, the Ohio School Board Association offers its sincere thanks to Iron City Pipe for its strong support of Jackson City Schools. The Board of Education, students, business partnerships greatly benefit all involved. Local businesses play a crucial role in supporting their communities, schools, while students get real-world experience. This support is especially important as school districts struggle with limited resources. Just as businesses support their schools, it's equally important that schools and communities support their local merchants and service providers. OSBA encourages everyone in the community to recognize Iron City Pipe, their outstanding contributions to Jackson City schools. And this is signed by the OSBA president. So once again, round of applause for She has an office with OSBA, and Mr. McDonald, you want to get in here in the picture for, okay. This is the board president.
Come through and let us shake your hand too.
Yeah, Rick.
Rick. We want to shake your hand too. Shake my family's hand. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Going to move on to the there's no one signed in to speak, so with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Mr. Howard.
It is recommended that the board approve the consent agenda as follows. Recommend that the board approve the following resignations. There are several of those there. I'm not going to read those to you. Item B is a recommendation to award Aaron Barrage a continuing contract for teaching. Item C is a recommendation to award several individuals here 3-year contracts as teaching staff members. Item D, recommendation to award a whole host of individuals 2-year teaching contracts. A, recommendation to award Katie Hemsley a 1-year teaching contract. Item F, recommendation, now these are new people, so this is why we have all these people here tonight. And I just told one of the board members that I don't always get a lot of pleasant things to do in this job. One of the things that I do and say, we want to offer you a teaching position, particularly when it's these really, really young people. And we got a lot of those people here, and a lot of these people grew up here, went to school here, and are now going to come back and help continue to better our community. So those individuals are Hannah Brock, Holly Cole, Morgan Coyne, Kennison Donaldson, Whitney Gearing, Kaylee Lauer, Kelsey Martin, Addie Metzger, and Emma Newsom. Item G, we'll come back to that before we move on to executive session later here. Item G is a recommendation to approve classified individuals continuing contracts, Haley Carter, Kim Dameron, and Amy Moore. Item H is a recommendation for a 1-year contract as a bus driver for Jeremy Kaiser. Item I, recommendation for Angel Coleman as a lunchroom attendant. Item J, recommendation to approve classified subs for the remainder of this school year, Donna Baker and Penny Crabtree for the positions as noted. Item K, a recommendation to employ classified subs for the upcoming school year, Penny Crabtree. Item L is a recommendation to employ individuals as certified subs for the next school year, Richard Calebs and Cassidy Simon as substitute teachers. Item M is a recommendation to employ Armelia McInnes for summer bus cleaning. Item N is a recommendation to rescind a contract that I had recommended earlier. And item O will explain that. In item N, we are rescinding the contract of Eric Siders for esports coach. And in O, we are going to approve a contract for Eric Siders and Adam Rippeth at 0.5 FTE. I inadvertently left Adam off one of the previous agendas, so they're splitting that position. Item P is a recommendation to approve a whole list of supplemental contracts for the upcoming school year. Item Q is a recommendation to approve a list of volunteers that will be supervised by either the building principal or other certificated staff members. Item R is a recommendation to approve student accident rates for next year. Item S, recommendation to approve a potential list of graduates for the class of 2021. Item T, recommendation to approve an amendment to the Jackson High School Diamond Club's calendar of events. We need to add the Cooper Strong 5K to be held on May 8th. Item U is a recommendation to approve a standard rental agreement with Centos for the next 5 years. It's where we get our uniforms for our bus mechanics and so forth. Item V is a recommendation to allow both Jackson High School and Jackson Middle School to be members of the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the upcoming school year. Item W was the one that we moved. Item X, recommendation to approve Schedule 2, which is a summary of costs to be made part of the agreement for the 21-22 school year between our school district and Meta Solutions. And I believe, Mr. McDonald, that concludes the consent agenda.
Are there any items need removed for separate consideration by any board members? If not, I need a motion. Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yep.
On item R, approval of student accident rates or
Yes.
student accident insurance rates?
Insurance rates.
Insurance needs to be added there. I think you don't want to have student accidents,
Okay.
right?
It's accident insurance, yeah. That's another
Okay.
thing. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any,
I'll make the motion.
okay. Just need a second.
I'll second.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Okay, before we go on, I want to come back to those new individuals that were hired this evening. We had talked about in one of our previous meetings, the board, our district, we did a needs assessment survey, and one of the things that came up was that everybody is in agreement that we need elementary guidance counselors. So we're taking some of our ESSER 2 funds that we have coming, and we're going to make sure that we have counselors in those buildings for at least the next 2 years. Now, we hope that to be able to continue as we go on, but right now, we know that we'll have it for at least the next 2 years.
Would you take the time to just introduce these folks?
That's what I'm getting ready to do.
You're a good man.
Yep.
You are a good man.
So, I'm going to go ahead and do the 3 counselors first. Now, they haven't been assigned a building yet, so we will talk about that as an administrative team and make those announcements in the coming weeks or so. But first of all, we have Holly Cole. Holly, would you stand? Holly is a graduate of Jackson High School. She's actually been a counselor for the last 5 or 6 years up at Uniota Elementary. So we want to welcome Holly to Jackson City Schools. You have anything you want to say, Holly?
I'm just really excited to have this opportunity, and I'm happy to meet all of you.
Thank you.
See you again.
Okay, next we have Morgan Coyne. Morgan also is a graduate of Jackson High School. He's been doing his internship here at Jackson High School with Tara and Amy. Been doing a great job for us. This will be 3rd generation Coyne here. Told Eric a while ago that I think it skipped a generation of goodness because he had his dad and then Eric here. But he, like I said, he's been doing his internship here. His dad was a longtime counselor here for Jackson City School District. Of course, Grandpa Jack, superintendent here. Grandma was also a teacher here in the district. Long line of educators in the Coyne family. So we're glad to have him. The only thing I'll say is, you know, Jack was a big help to me whenever I first came here as a new superintendent. I greatly appreciated that. Although here lately, I've asked him for help, and he won't help me because I've tried to get him to go out with me at 4 o'clock in the morning and check roads, and he just refuses to do it, so I don't know. But let's welcome Morgan Coyne. Kaylee, every time I look at your name, sometimes I think Lower, sometimes I think Lauer. So Lower, okay. Kaylee Lower. Kaylee is also a graduate of Jackson High School. She is currently employed at Wellston City Schools, so we're going to be able to steal one of ours back from them. She's been teaching at Wellston for the past 8 or 9 years, math and science teacher up at Wellston. Is really excited about the opportunity to get into counseling. She's got a lot of background and knowledge in PBIS, which is a positive behavior program that we want to try to implement here in the district. So we want to welcome Kaylee to the Jackson City Schools.
I'm just really excited, like Holly, to get started. I was saying on the way in here, and I'm ready to get started now. It kind of makes these next 3 weeks take a while, you know. But definitely excited to get started. And thank you for the opportunity.
And Morgan, I skipped you. Did you want to say anything? Oh, yeah. I don't think you were upset, but.
I just really want to thank my family, my grandpa, and my dad for paving the way for me. And I'm really excited as well, like the other two were saying, so thank you very much.
All right. Next up, we have a junior high / elementary music position, and this position is going to Addie Metzger. Addie is currently at Miami Trace, but you guys will know her husband, Ian Stasko here, and Ian has become quite famous here in the district with our choir program here at Jackson High School. So I don't know if you're as good, I shouldn't say it's at the end here, but I don't know if you're going to be as good as he is or not, but you got some big shoes to fill. So welcome Addie to the district. The next is, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Addie.
I was just going to say thank you for the opportunity. I'm thrilled to work here. I know Jackson has a big music community, so I'm really excited to be a part of that. Thank you.
Hope you guys survive working kind of together, so I don't know. Next up is Hannah Brock. Hannah is a PK3 licensure. A lot of these people, we're not sure exactly which building and which position they're going to be in. We got several openings in the district, and our principals and myself, we like to try to get started early and get our interviews in so we can get the cream of the crop before everybody else starts picking through them, and then you get stuck with whatever's left. So we're probably hiring a lot earlier than what most people do because we want to make sure that we're getting the best people. And it was really, I mean, there was a lot of, I think our principals will attest to this. I mean, there was a lot of talent this year out there for these positions. So you guys have had to do really, really well in order to be in this meeting tonight, being hired here. So Hannah, again, P3 license. She's been subbing for us a lot the last couple years. And, you know, when you have the opportunity as principals to see people sub, that's great because you don't always get that. A lot of times you're talking to people for 30 minutes in an interview and you're trying to figure out whether this person really knows. I mean, I've interviewed people that interviewed extremely well, and then you get them and you're like, oh my God, you know. And then I've interviewed people who, you know, I thought, are you kidding me? I don't have anybody else. I got to hire this person. And they end up being fantastic. So it's hard to tell in a 30-minute interview what you're really getting. But when you have the opportunity to see these people actually perform, you know what you're getting. And a lot of these people here have subbed for us for 2 years and even the last year here. So Hannah's been working a lot here in the district in the last couple of years. And again, I'm not sure exactly which position she'll be in. I know you spent some time in Indiana before coming here to Ohio, I think originally from South Point area. Went to Indiana, husband's job or something, and now back here to Jackson County. So let's welcome Hannah Brock.
Yeah, I've been to many different schools over the past several years, and I've been so impressed with Jackson.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Whitney Gearing. Whitney is another person who has that PK3 license. She's also a Jackson High School grad. She did teach a couple years down in the Cincinnati area before marrying a Jackson boy and then moving back here to Jackson. She subbed all year for us, done a fantastic job, helped us out with our online program. We wouldn't have been able to do that without some of these subs stepping up and helping us. So we want to welcome Whitney.
I just want to thank you guys for the offer to be back in Jackson and to give back to the community that helped me.
Next up, we have Kelsey Martin. Kelsey is another Jackson High School grad, University of Rio Grande and Fort Hays University. Another early educator licensure. Not sure exactly which building she's going to be in. I'm sure, I'm going to have some fist fights between all my principals, between who's going to go where, and I usually end up having to be the mediator and say, no, you can't have everybody. We may do it like the NFL draft, and, everybody gets a pick. But so I want to welcome Kelsey.
I just want to say thank you, and I'm just really excited to get started and being in Jackson schools.
Kelsey's another one of those people who subbed all year for us in different capacities and different buildings, so they got to be able to watch her perform throughout the year. Next, we have Kennison Donaldson. Kennison, another Jackson High School grad and University of Rio Grande. She did get away from us for 1 year. We really didn't have any openings last year, so she's been up at Logan teaching for the last year. So, Kennison, you won't have to make that drive anymore. Dad, you won't have to be worried about that. So, I know what kind of a worry that is on a dad. So, Kennison will be teaching second and third grade intervention specialist, and that is at Westview. So, welcome, Kennison Donaldson. Next, we have Emma Newsom. Emma, again, another graduate of Jackson High School and Ohio University, another early childhood major. She's been subbing all year for us, helped us out with the online program, different things, been in all of our buildings. Everybody's had the opportunity to see her, been very impressed. So welcome, Emma Newsom. Before you guys leave here, shortly we're going to probably go to executive session. So before us going to executive session, I need all the new hires to stay so that we can get a picture for the paper. That's okay.
Or would you want to do it now, or you want to wait?
Well, let's go ahead and right when we break to go to executive session.
Okay. So we're gonna move to executive session now. So anybody that wants to leave, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. You're free to leave once we break, or you can stay if you want to. And then, like Mr. Howard said, everybody else stick around that's going to need a picture that we just talked about and that they just introduced themselves. So I need a motion to move into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Harless,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Dr. Morris,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you guys for coming this evening, and if we can get all the new hires up here so we can get a picture.
You're on after.
What do you think?
All right, we're come out of executive session. I need a motion, a second to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yeah.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. And now the new business, turn it over to Mr. Howard.
I'd recommend that the board employ Tara Richards as assistant middle school principal on a new one-year contract effective beginning of the next school year.
Your motion, a second?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
If she will learn to spell my name correctly. After 35 years of teaching, 16 years on the board, and she still can't spell my name. Okay.
Item B is a recommendation to ratify a new negotiated contract with OPSI 046.
Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. And now we need to vote on the item for the
Oh, yeah.
foundation.
The item that we moved from the consent agenda to the new business, I would recommend that the board authorize myself and the treasurer to request from the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio the transfer of all of the funds back to the Jackson City School District.
I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Move on to the financial report.
The treasurer's report is as presented.
Okay. Need a motion and a second to approve the financial report.
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion.
Second.
Dr. Morris, did you make the motion?
Kim did.
Kim did.
I second.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Now we move on to information and discussion items. Mr. Howard, you want to talk about that?
The only thing I have is summer school. We just had an administrative meeting earlier this week, well, actually yesterday, since there's only been one other day this week. But we're looking at probably between 400 to 450 kids total in the district, working on bus routes right now. I think we're going to try to, looks like we're going to have about 10 different buses, and so it's a lot of area to cover with 10 buses when we normally use 25 or whatever. But we've only got 10 or 11 drivers that are willing to drive for the summer school. So we're going to try to get by with those 10 drivers. A lot of those kids will be picked up and dropped off by their parents. Some of them live in areas where they'll be walking. I think that we determined that we've got close to 60 teachers that will be involved out of our 170, so more than 1/3 of our teachers are involved. Some of them are not working the full 4 weeks. Some of them are working 1 week, some are working 2, 3, whatever, because of vacations and so forth, but a lot of people involved. We will have a grab-and-go breakfast when the students arrive. We will have a lunch that they will take with them when they leave. Actually, it'll be on the bus, and they will get it when they get off the bus, because they're not allowed to be eating while they're on the bus. So we'll have boxes and stuff on the front of the bus, and those will already be loaded on the bus. They'll grab one of those when they get off. There'll be a snack in the middle of the morning that the students will be provided with. What am I forgetting, Joe, Deb, anything?
RSVP will be sending
Yeah.
they'll be sending something home each evening for each student as well. It'll be provided by Susan Rogers, RSVP. It'll be bagged take that as they exit the bus as well. So they'll be taking their lunch and then basically supper with them.
Anything else, Deb?
I think that's it.
Is this just focusing on elementary students?
No, we got them at all buildings. The high school is more credit recovery. I mean, students that have to pass a class to be able to graduate and so forth. The middle and the elementaries are for loss of learning and students that are, have been identified as at risk or behind for various reasons. A lot of them, I think, are students that were initially online and got behind for whatever reason while they were online.
That's wonderful.
I think we've got about probably close to, what, between 80 and 100 at all the elementary buildings. The high school's right at 100, middle school's a little over 100. So we're thinking about maybe 450 kids or so.
And we really think that will give them a better start next year.
Good. I'm really glad to see this happening. That was always great fun in the summer, to have something like that to do.
In some cases at the elementary level, students are basically mandated to attend if they want to be promoted to the next grade level. Not all cases, there's different reasons for kids that to be in summer school, but in some cases, if they don't come to the summer school, they will be retained, and those people have been made aware of that. So
Good.
that's all I have.
Okay, closing items, or have any board members have any closing remarks?
Yes, Mr. McDonald, I do. The infamous letter writers are at it again. The only problem is they don't like to sign their name. They have lots to say, lots to complain about, not much to praise. They start out by thanking us for our service, although the person says they won't vote for any of us again. Well, that's okay too. You're a taxpayer. And he did say we had an honorable district at one time. Well, now, folks, if you expect us to take these letters seriously, have the courage, have the brain power, have the anatomy to sign your name. If you want us to do something different, write us another letter, but sign your name. Write it in complete sentences. You don't have to use vulgarities. You don't have to use bad, dirty cuts. You don't have to go that far. All you have to do is tell us. And if you sign your name, we'll take it seriously, and we'll consider it, and we'll do something about it. Don't be threatening. This one was almost to the point of being threatening, as were the ones that another gentleman took quite a blow of. It almost destroyed the man, and he didn't do it. Don't do that kind of stuff. It's not necessary. We're all reasonably intelligent people. We listen. We all get along. We laugh a lot. We have a good time. And we are here for the students. We're not here for ourselves. It says that the board is going to change. We're looking for a bright future with other board members. Well, since I'm not running for the board again, yes, there will be a change. You want this board seat? You grab it and growl. Go get your petition, get the signatures, do it the right way, get out there and campaign. But make sure that you know what the board is supposed to do, and that is make policy to see that this group of students has the best education possible. It's for the students of this district. the most valuable commodity that we have. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Anyone else have any closing remarks? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Harless?
Yes.
Dr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes?
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Meeting's adjourned.